Iowa State, Obie and I were talking before the show started that they actually may be favored against Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma State's ranked number 8 there. They could fall. I think Iowa State's hosting them, right? How about UCLA, Oregon? Sure. UCLA can win that game. There's no doubt about that. USC, who's been a disaster, and they haven't won at Notre Dame in forever. Could they beat Notre Dame? Yeah, Notre Dame has not shown me anything this year. So there's several teams that could fall ahead, including the Coastal Carolina game, potentially 6 teams ahead of A&M that are in those maybe ranges out there. So as I said when we started the show, what I'm saying is just take care of business if you're A&M. The show topic of the day is, where would you rank Texas A&M right now in the rankings? Consider how things could shake out this weekend and beyond. But right now, where are they? There's still a lot of things that could go down. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and we begin the Go Hour, or as we said yesterday, the Oh No Hour, with my buddy Olin Buchanan, Heisman Trophy voter, one-day finalist, and good friend. Hello, sir.
That's an interesting question. Well, would you say, I thought the number 17 ranking was fair.
Yep.
But if you're saying today after Coastal Carolina, don't you have to move them up to at least 16?
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if they're in the top 15 by next week. And like you said, they may move up a spot without playing in the open week.
Yep.
And like you said, if they keep winning, it's just attrition will put you in the top 10 eventually, because a lot of teams that are ranked ahead of you, there may be multiple teams playing each other, like Michigan State. So, Ohio State, Michigan, all those teams, Ohio State, Michigan State. So, just do your part, and you will swim upstream like a salmon and get to your destination.
Did I even have Ole Miss and LSU? I don't even know if I mentioned that one. I mean, there's another one. Look, I don't know anything about LSU. I really don't. Like, can they beat teams that they shouldn't? Sure. Are they going to continue with all the injuries and all the stuff going on there? I don't know. But that's another one. And by the way, you're going to play Ole Miss here in a month. Hard game, regardless of where they're ranked, if they lose a game or two or not. But that's still a very tough game. You're going to have your chances to move up those rankings.
Yeah, and again, keep winning. Not only do you get higher in the rankings, but your chances for to reach a New Year's Six bowl, they are enhanced with every win. And if you get a little help, a whole lot of help, you could even get into the SEC championship game still. Of course, you're banking on somebody beating Alabama, and
right.
Who would that be? Maybe Auburn in a rival game.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
So that's unlikely, but it's still out there as a possibility.
So I think I'm right when I say this. A&M is the highest ranked 2-loss team.
Yes, that's correct.
Right? So there's going to be some more 2-loss teams here. And again, A&M, I think, was overrated when the season started, not based on what they could be, but based on where the injuries started to shake out by the second week of the season. And I think you even said you would have been okay with them starting at 12th, I believe.
12 to 15, 11 to 15, I thought would have been a more accurate ranking based on the issues. I always said that if it wasn't A&M, if you were just looking at any other team, and they had 9 defensive starters back from a good team, but they had a new quarterback and 4 new offensive line starters, you'd say, okay, I got to tap the brakes just a little bit. I'm not saying that they're not going to be good. They might be really good, but 15 to 11 would have made sense to me at that time.
So I think this is a question I can ask everybody on the A&B text line or on the BCSI hotline, along with our topic of the day. Who are you more convinced by? It just hit me right now. Are you more convinced by Zach Calzada turning the corner, or the offensive line, or both? Because I still think there are some questions with Zach because of the easy throws that we talked about, but I'm really starting to believe in that offensive line.
I think the offensive line is my answer. They're not what they were last year. Like I was saying today, I said they haven't, with the rolling the dice, shaking up for the 5. You haven't got the Yahtzee, but it looks like you might be getting the large straight. Which is the next best thing. They're making that kind of progress. You're supposed to move the ball against Missouri, but they did. They didn't allow a sack against Alabama. They ran for 162 yards against Mississippi State, maybe 166, which doesn't sound like much at first until you realize that Mississippi State actually has a pretty good run defense.
They do have a good run defense.
So I think you're seeing the offensive line starting to make significant progress, and I think we could be saying that about Calzada, if not for the one interception that seems to always come up in a game, and the failure to just sometimes get the layup pass, right? The little swing pass. Make those easy ones, and the harder ones will become easier.
I heard Jimbo yesterday. He was on some show. I think it was on ESPNU on Sirius XM. And he was just talking about sometimes it's boring, but the boring plays work. Like, make sure those boring routine plays, and I think he was actually talking about the boring reps at practice. Get those. That's how you win games, making sure you hit on those. Yeah, the big plays work, but those little routine plays sometimes, especially with the backfield that you have, those little routine plays can turn into 70-yard gains, 8-yard gains when you need it, and just a negative play into a positive.
The routine plays set up the big plays. And not that anyone needs a reminder, but the Orange Bowl, that was just a kind of a sweep to Devon Achane that turned into I can't even remember, 70-yard touchdown. I can't remember the yardage, but you don't know that they're going to be big plays until they happen. But one of the great things about having players like Spiller and Smith and Achane is they can turn the routine plays into big plays. But first, you've got to execute the routine play.
One of the things I love about Spiller as well, and Achane too, but in a different way, Spiller is he is the master of a play that looks like it's going to be a 1-yard loss or maybe a 2-yard run into a 5-yard, let's say, which doesn't seem splashy. But when it looks like it's all going to get chaotic and he falls forward and he's like, oh, it's now 3rd and 2 as opposed to it could have been 3rd and 12. Like, he is really good at that.
I bet he was really good at dodgeball, because the guy moves sideways so fast. I bet he can dance. He has such quick feet, maybe not crazy straight line speed, even though as we saw against Missouri and we saw against Arkansas and quite frankly, several other teams. I think he has the second most 40-yard runs in the SEC. I think he has 4, and the guy from Missouri has more than that. Okay. But the guy from Missouri gets the ball batty. Batty, yeah. He gets the ball every play almost.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Right. So, but he has that front line speed without a doubt, more than sufficient. But he's just so quick, and I think that quickness is his greatest asset because he can look like he's going one direction and shift it and just go right by somebody, take away their tackle angle. I'm not sure that he's sometimes really faking them out so much as he's just changing the angle, and so they don't get the great shot on him, and he's so strong that you can't arm tackle him.
By the way, yesterday America got better. The Astros won again. I don't know if you paid attention. Yeah, the Astros won again.
Okay.
Yeah, Framber Valdez was great. Jose Altuve is great every day. It was a good day. Good day for baseball. Now, I know Richard Zane's not happy today as he goes to class. His Dodgers are hurting a little bit. They also have some pitching issues that the Astros are somehow finding a way to get up on the Red Sox. But regardless, let's say hello around the room, and we go to Daltonian, Dalton Hughes. Good morning to you, sir.
Oh, good morning. Yeah, I doubt Richard's in that great of a mood, but I'm in a good mood. That's all that matters. Nobody cares about Richard.
Buddy, I understand that there's another amazing episode of Up to the Second College Football, and you're very proud of the work that you did on it?
I mean, I'm proud of the work that you did on it. I don't do much. You're the on-camera talent, but yeah, good episode. Ralph Russo, Associated Press. Matt Moscona. Yeah, Ralph's great. Matt Moscona out of Baton Rouge, and we go in-depth on everything going on over there. Can't really miss it. So I'm sure we'll play some of that here at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know when.
I don't know if today we can fit it, but we'll try to get in. I ran a little bit of the Matt Moscona interview yesterday, and I had some people come up to me or tweet at me like, hey, how did you not laugh when he said that Jimbo wasn't a candidate there at LSU? And the way Moscona put it was, I guess there were some – and first off, I think this is LSU trying to, save grace a little bit.
Save face, yeah.
Save face. But Also, the way it went down the last couple times they flirted with him, they didn't like the way that all played out with Jimbo. And also knowing that they weren't going to get him makes him not a candidate in a way. When your coach is emphatic on television about he is very happy at A&M, I'm sure those conversations happen behind closed doors as well.
I would be surprised if that wasn't the case. I think that's why A&M made the salary raise and extension and all that.
I guess they can say he was a candidate because there wasn't really a list until Sunday, right? And
right.
They knew and as Olin just said, that contract extension was done before Sunday.
But let me ask you guys this: do you think Jimbo, if the extension never happened, would we have still gotten the same kind of press conference the other day, and they'd be working on an extension? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much did the extension save A&M from him being a legit candidate?
I think he probably would have still been asked, even without the extension, all these questions. But $75 million is still a lot of money. I think what it was is like, number one, you're doing a good job. Just came off the highest ranked final ranking since 39, and number two, hey, we can see the impending disaster going on at LSU. I mean, it's obvious. So why don't we just go ahead and sweeten the deal and remove all doubt, which I think is a wise move.
Well, fake rumors have it that if this show continues to climb the rankings the way we've climbed it, we might get that 10-year extension as well.
A 10-year extension would serve me very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because then at the end of that 10 years, I could retire.
You could retire. That'd be great. I hope management is listening to that. All right, when we come back, we'll talk a little Heisman talk with OB. But right now, a moment for the Association of Former Students. Many of you listening out there, I know a lot of you are definitely donating and doing your part. Some of us are kind of like how I was for a couple years where you just forgot. You just didn't do it. You didn't renew 1 year. Then, you get those phone calls at 6 o'clock at night. You see a phone number, like, I don't know that number. I'm not going to answer. Then you realize, it's the association. Should I answer that? I'll get them next time. And the next time's like a year later. And so you're listening to this message. Stop what you're doing, except you continue listening to the show. But reach out to the Association of Former Students because they do such great work. For $100 a year, $9 a month, you're going to get that decal, the plaque, the Texas Aggie magazine. Plus, you're continuing in the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping other Aggies out there. To learn more about the impact of the association, learn and make a gift, visit AggieNetwork.com/giving.
This is The Zone, Aggieland's all sports station.
When seconds matter in the game, every single decision made can mean a big win or a frustrating loss. When it comes to buying your next home and selling your existing home in the current market, every decision can mean serious money. Aggie fans, it's Dave South, and as you know, I've studied the best players and the best teams to represent our A&M family. One thing I've learned over the years, the best coaches have the respect of their team and the 12th man, you, the fans. In Bryan College Station, no realtor has more 5-star reviews on Google than Lance Lester and his team at the Lester Group. Why is that? Simple. No one offers more options that benefit you. If you want to buy your next home before you sell your current home, Lance can help you do that. If you want to know the date and price that you can count on your home selling for, Lance can guarantee it in writing. When the game is on the line, you want a leader with a proven track record calling the shots. Get your home sold faster and for the most money. Work with my friend Lance Lester and the Lester Group. Go to thelestergroup.com. That's thelestergroup.com and experience lightning in a bottle selling your home.
Since 1957, Slovačić Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovačić is the official sausage of Texas A&M athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovačić. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovačić Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Howdy, I'm Hunter Shurtleff of the Shurtleff Law Firm. Choosing the best attorney for your case is the first important decision you must make. You should expect your lawyer to meet with you personally, answer your calls, and guide you through our complex legal system. For over 20 years, my clients have trusted me to handle their civil trial cases in state and federal court. I've represented Fortune 500 companies, small business owners, and individuals just like you who need help. Whether you've been injured or your business is being threatened, you need a lawyer and I can help. To find out more about me and my law firm and how to schedule an appointment, go to bcsattorney.com.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals. It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Kolache Rolfs, painting with a twist, B&B Automotive, Front Street Burgers, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Are these guys the QB or not the QB of their current teams next season? Tua Tagovailoa.
He will not be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. They will flirt around with better options, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, figure out the Deshaun Watson situation. Maybe even there's a Cam Newton sighting in Miami. But he will not be the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins opening day of 2022.
Listen in to Key, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor from 5 to 8 on the Zone.
Good lullaby music or put you to bed music. It's TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and they are the official insurance provider of TexAgs Radio because the difference is real, my friends. Rollo Insurance, an independent insurance company built around educating you on exactly what you're paying for, doing the shopping for you so that you can accomplish all of your insurance goals. They can write any form of insurance to anyone in Texas and several other states, as well as over 30 offices in the state. Their headquarters is on Highway 6 right here in College Station. Call them up at 888-44-ROLLO or go to rolloinsurance.com. All right, it is now time to do a little Heisman talk. The Heisman Watch is brought to you by Shurtleff Law Firm. The Shurtleff Law Firm, delivering justice for those who need it most. OB, how does number 5 sound to you?
Well, let's go with Desmond Ridder, the quarterback from Cincinnati. He had kind of a modest performance, that 56-21 victory over UCF. He only completed 13 of 23 passes for just 140 yards and a touchdown. But the Bearcats are still unbeaten. He's a major reason why. He's passed for 1,444 yards and 13 touchdowns this year, and he's rushed for 118 and 3 scores.
If they go undefeated, is he going to get invited?
I think so, especially if he has, some of his that was a pedestrian performance for anybody, but it was a rare pedestrian performance from him. If he has some of, more of his typical performances, I think he'll be up there.
All right, let's move up to number 4.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud, the Ohio State quarterback. The Buckeyes were open last week, so he didn't get a chance to build on his numbers. But he's thrown for 736 yards and 10 touchdowns in just the last 2 games. Overall, he's thrown for 1,699 yards and 18 touchdowns.
He is someone who I think week 1 and 2, there were some question marks, but he has figured it out.
Remember he figured it out like in the second half of the first game, and then they lost to Oregon. But then he's been playing really well ever since.
He's been money since. Number 3 is a guy who didn't have a huge game this past weekend, but he's consistent.
That's right. Kenneth Walker, the running back from Michigan State, a transfer from Wake Forest. How good would they be if he was still there? But he only rushed for 84 yards last week against Indiana, and that's really not a bad game.
Right.
But for him it is. That did raise his total on the year to 997 yards. He's rushed for 9 touchdowns, so he's on pace here at the halfway for a 2,000-yard season.
Huge year. Now, they still have their toughest games ahead of them.
Coming up, absolutely.
So I think Michigan coming up. And
Ohio State.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. All right, so you've got the famous 1A, 1B again.
Yeah, this is closest to be a tie as I can come up with, and I really can't think of which one I would vote for today. I might change my mind several times, so I guess I have to give the edge to Bryce Young over Matt Corral because Alabama won.
Is that also based on the fact that you kind of see what's going to happen in the future? Alabama possibly winning out, and Ole Miss maybe stumbling once or twice.
Well, I try not to look ahead.
Okay.
I try to base it all on what they've done so far. And Bryce Young won the game when they matched up head-to-head. So that, to me, gives – if all things are equal, that separates it in my mind. But Corral, I don't think any individual is more responsible for their team's success than Matt Corral.
He's a little banged up.
Mm-hmm. Or so they say.
So they say.
But last week he threw for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns, which doesn't sound like that big a deal. But then he also rushed for 195 yards in that win over Tennessee.
I think it would be huge. I think we talked about it yesterday, the day before. If A&M can stop him too, right, or neutralize. Stopping is, I mean, he can run on you. He showed that last week. He can throw. He makes all the big time throws. But if A&M can get through Bryce Young and Matt Corral in the same season, that would say so much.
Amazing, yeah. Anyway, he's third in the nation in total offense with 1,728 passing yards and 450 rushing yards. He's thrown for 14 touchdowns and rushed for 8.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
That's why I'm having such a difficult time separating him and Bryce Young from Alabama quarterback. He had another game, another big performance. He completed 20 of 28 passes for 348 yards and 4 touchdowns in that 49-9 victory over Mississippi State. He's thrown for more than 300 yards in 4 games this year and has thrown multiple touchdown passes in every game. Overall, 2,082 passing yards and 24 touchdowns.
He's legit. Too legit to quit.
So who do you separate? Who would you take between Young and Corral?
I think I'm leaning towards Bryce Young, but there's something about Matt Corral that if it continues, winning in spite of what I think is not the defense we thought that they had maybe turned into in the start of the season, I could be swayed.
Yeah, what bothers me is I say if you took Matt Corral and put him in Alabama's offense and Bryce Young and put him in Mississippi State's, which guy would be more likely to be successful and which guy would be more likely to falter? And I think the answer is Matt Corral would be more likely to be successful. Now, if you put the backup quarterback in for both teams, who's likely to be more successful?
Alabama.
Yeah, I kind of think that too.
I think Ole Miss, I don't want injuries, but
right.
if A&M were to play Ole Miss without Matt Corral, I'm not complaining.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, that makes A&M the favorite in that game, but, that's a long way before that. That's still, 3 weeks out?
So, anyway, I think it's pretty much a two-man race for the Heisman. It's going to be really interesting to see how these guys play down the stretch.
Two-man race for the Heisman, but how many get invited?
Typically 4.
Yeah.
Sometimes as many as 5. Sometimes as few as 3, but typically 4.
So C.J. Stroud will get in the mix, you think?
Maybe.
Yeah. If they went out,
I would be surprised if he did not.
Yeah. So it could be all 4 quarterbacks this year, really, if it turns out to be 4.
Unless Kenneth Walker gets in there.
Yeah. And I know the Texas PR team is trying to push Bijan.
And they should. That's their guy. If
I saw a tweet yesterday that said, Ricky Williams was 9-3 when he won the Heisman, and somebody else was 9-3.
Yeah. Well, Tim Tebow was 9-3.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it this year, and I think most people understand that. First of all, I think Robinson's not just really good. I think he's great. I think he's going to be a good pro and all those things. But
you have him right outside looking in, right?
I would probably have him 6 or 7.
Uh-huh.
But I think that he does benefit from the soft defenses they play.
Yeah, that's for sure. But he's legit good though.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, again, I think he's going to be I think he's a great player, and I think he's going to be a very productive NFL player, maybe a star. But this year, I think if he's so great, why doesn't your coach just ride him when you got a 18-point lead?
In the second half, that makes no sense to me. Hey, let's talk Chance McClain, Heritage Films, my buddy. I need to reach out to him right now. We just scheduled our date for my pops. Looking forward to doing that. YourHeritageFilm.com is the website. They make documentary films about your parents, your uncle. People are important to you. OB, we could do a documentary on OB. It'd be a great story. Where his family came from, everything. The whole journey there would be a good one. And that's what Chance does so well. One of the most creative people I know. Probably is the most. He is the most creative guy I know. There's no doubt about that. But he's done red carpet shows. He started a radio station. He's done Broadway musicals. And by the way, he's a good old boy too. He's one of us, and he loves TexAgs and he loves A&M culture. And he's going to take my father's story, put it on film, and they don't do that anymore. But I'm getting at. He's put it on video, and it's going to be first-class experience. About 8 to 10 weeks to finish it. A slave to the process. He gets it right. He asks the right questions, and he makes it just an incredible experience. Call him up at 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341. YourHeritageFilm.com.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Come out to the inaugural Fun for All golf tournament on Monday, October 25th at Traditions Club. Visit funforallplaygroundbcs.com for details. Come out to a fundraiser concert on Friday, October 29th at the 101 in downtown Bryan. Proceeds benefit Texas A&M's KANM Student Radio. The music starts at 8:30. Keep Brazos Beautiful is hosting their annual tree sale fundraiser on October 29th and 30th at the Brazos Center in Bryan. More information is online at keepbrazosbeautiful.org. Pride Community Center is hosting the annual Big Gay 5K and Barbecue on Saturday, October 30th at Lake Walk in Bryan. Visit pridecc.org for more details. You can hear Houston Astros baseball all postseason long on Sports Radio 1150 AM, 93.7 FM, and select games on Gospel 97.3 FM, thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
I guess you've noticed how much your home's cooling bill has been recently. Perhaps there are rooms that are never the right temperature. There's a way to save some of that expense while adding security, reducing dust, pollen infiltration, create a quieter, more comfortable atmosphere, enhancing the beauty and value of your home. All of the above and more can be accomplished by letting your neighbors at Intercon replace your windows with premium Burris vinyl windows. Intercon is a locally owned and operated source of custom-made vinyl windows, which come directly from the factory to your home and are installed by Intercon full-time employees. Vinyl windows come in 3 colors and virtually any style or shape. Call us for a free no-obligation quote for your home. We present our products without any pressure sales tactics. We price jobs by opening and are happy to do the jobs in stages if requested. Compare our quality, reputation, and price, and you'll soon have Burris windows installed by Intercon in your home, too.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
Howdy, Ags. This is Dr. Krishna Shanmugam from BCS Eye Associates. I'm a fellowship-trained cornea and glaucoma specialist and eye surgeon, but most importantly, fighting Texas Aggie class of 2007. I was born in Aggie, raised in Aggie, and now back in the Brazos Valley to serve Aggie Land, the incredible place that made me the person that I am today. We're the only fellowship-trained glaucoma, cornea, and cataract surgeon in town, and would be delighted to take care of you locally for your eye exam and your eye surgery needs. Give us a call to schedule an appointment today with Dr. K at BCS Eye Associates at 979-701-2020 or visit mybcsi.com.
You can hear every Aggie football game, home, road, national championship, right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Game Day on the Zone is brought to you in part by Stephen Gustitis, attorney at law, BCS Allstate agent Jerry Anderson, and Higginbotham Insurance. 30 minutes after every A&M home game, tune in for the Twin Peaks Call-In Show powered by TexAgs.com.
I see a lot of you on the A&B text line. We'll get to you here momentarily. Good stuff here. Go ahead.
Is there no McGee today?
Oh, there's definitely McGee.
Oh, okay.
There's always McGee here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio as we go out to the BCSI hotline and we say good morning to our friend Steven McGee, Paragon Financial, our QB1, and just our good buddy. Good morning to you, sir.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How are we?
We're good. Why don't you come on here on this show with us in that sissy blue shirt?
Oh, my.
That is a blue shirt.
I love it. Actually, I really do need to. I don't think since Dave's been host that I've been by to do a live show with you guys.
Hey, man, it's okay. I get it. I mean, you're a Gabe guy. It's all good. We're all Gabe guys here. We'll get you in studio one day. Hey, are you happy with where things are right now with A&M, considering where we were just 2 weeks ago, and people unhappy with a beatdown of Missouri, a 21-point beatdown, and just where they are now compared to just a couple weeks back?
Yeah, I am. Coming off the Mississippi State loss, it felt like the world was going to end, and thinking, man, what has happened, and what's happened so quickly with a group of guys you felt like should be a little bit better than what they were. And then the Alabama game, of course, speaks for itself. And then last week, you get a 21-point on the road win in the SEC. Now, granted, I don't know how you guys felt about it, but Missouri, from the eye test, looks like one of the worst SEC defenses and even offensively that I've seen in quite some time. But it doesn't really matter to me. You still got to go out there and get the job done. And you come away with a 21-point win, and you feel like that was very best case scenario for Missouri. There was a lot of points that we could have added on that we just didn't capitalize, whether it was a turnover, et cetera. So all things considered, I feel like this team can only continue to get better, and that makes me excited.
What do they have to do to get better, Steven?
It's I think defensively they've gotten so much better at creating turnovers. Winning the turnover battle against Alabama I thought was huge. A defense that can give up yards but yet create turnovers, I think it will lead to success, especially in modern day football. But I think offensively they've got to get this passing game clicking consistently. It was really good against Bama. Felt like it took a step back last week. I think Zach can help in that regard, and the receivers. I think getting Anias involved more consistently, like he's been the last couple of weeks, is a huge help. A little spark plug outside. Obviously, the run game's great. These offensive linemen are only going to get better. Number 76 at right tackle, I think, is going to be a good football player. But yeah, I think the whole thing's got to evolve more. You got young guys out there, and I think Zach is going to get better and better. I think he can still get a lot better. That's the good news. I think his upside's a lot higher. Completing 50% of your passes against Missouri is not his best day. And so I think Zach pulling the trigger a little bit quicker, et cetera, is going to help this football team.
Tell me something, Steven, as a quarterback now, are we over simplifying the swing passes that he's had trouble had trouble connecting on? I think he had 3 to the left and 1 to the right that looked like they were set up for nice gains, and for whatever reason couldn't make the connection. Those are short passes. Are we, as people that don't have to play the position, looking at that and thinking, why can't he make these short passes? Are we making them seem easier than they are? You tell us from your perspective as a quarterback, how difficult is it to complete those passes?
Yeah, I think Brett Favre said it best. Swing pass is the hardest pass in football to complete. Really? That guy's going away from you, and sometimes they got a little angle upfield, and so you're trying to put the ball right out in front of them, and they're fast, and you generally got pressure. You got to get it over a guy. So I don't want to make it sound like it's easy. At the end of the day, though, you got to execute on those 10 out of 10 times, and I think Zach knows that. I think his ball release, he's a higher. All those screen pass. We saw one against Mississippi State, I think it was. No, Arkansas. We had off the helmet. We were trying to throw that angle screen pass where the running back comes out of the backfield, and his release point is high. Now you got to get the ball up high on screen passes. I know coaches would always teach us to drift toward the throw and then have the release point be higher, so you're coming down and with a little bit of touch. You can't float it out there because it's going to be a blow up play, but at the same time you can't gun it in there. And so yeah, I think Zach can get better at that. I would be surprised if he doesn't. But so there are some weeks though when he's on point with those, and so it's hard to sit here and say, I don't know what it is. Maybe it was a mental deal, but yeah, those were tough plays to watch.
Steven, have you paid attention at all to Zeb Nolan and his story there with South Carolina, and do you see anything that should I don't want to say make the Aggies afraid or anything, but anything that jumps out at you the way he plays the game?
Scrappy. It's a cool story. From coach to starting quarterback, he's clearly a spark plug for that football team. Are they a great team? No, but you get a guy like that. Was it last week against Vanderbilt? I saw the last second pass he threw. Was it 1 second on the clock to win the game by 1 point? And he's got something about him, and that obviously a coach's mindset, you would think. And so he was probably preparing all off season to be a coach, and so he's got that extra leg up there, hopefully from an understanding perspective. And I think it's paid off for him on the field, where maybe he doesn't have as much ability as some guys. He makes up for it with the mental intellect, and that when you can play fast mentally, you can see the results. And so I don't know if it scares us necessarily, but guys like that, when they get hot and they find some weaknesses in your defense, they can put up some points and some yards. So it's not a team I would take for granted.
I think some point in the next 20 years that Zeb Nolan will be the head coach at South Carolina.
I can see that.
Because of the story, what Steven just said about his football IQ,
Right.
his tenacity, and quite frankly, is there anywhere in the country besides South Carolina who should have a head coach named Zeb?
That's true.
Now, that said, Steven, did you ever want to coach?
No, I don't. God bless them, man. It takes a special person to want to coach college or professional football.
Even if you could get fired and get $17 million to get fired?
I don't know. I just, hire me for a day or a year and then fire me. Give me $17 million. Sure. I just, there's so many other things to coaching. I don't know. I know where you're going at, OB, but the family sacrifices that these coaches have to make is unbelievable. And the time commitment is really, really over the top too, especially if you're working for a guy like Saban. So I don't know.
I 100% agree with you, that family dynamic part of it. Hey, so what did you make of everything at LSU this week with the Edo stuff, Jimbo's press conference, what do you want to call it, the dramatic interpretation of a press conference there with Scott Woodward there and Edo? Just what did you think of the entire weekend, or day, I should say?
I don't know if you guys are in the same boat as me, but I wasn't surprised at all. You've been hearing the rumblings that they've been trying to get Edo fired with cause for the last year. All of these things that were released internally to try to, uncover some type of evidence that would allow them to get rid of him. And so I made a comment earlier, I don't know when it was, in the summer or last spring, about Jimbo and the potential for LSU, and that would be the biggest loss for us. And I don't know, people acted like I was crazy, but I'm sorry about it. I think this is the exact thing that I was hinting at right here, is this situation with Edo. They just don't like the guy there. I mean, it wasn't, everybody knew that. I mean, even I did in College Station. So I'm glad that we had upped Jimbo when we did and able to hopefully keep him around. I know there's no guarantee of that, but we put our best foot forward, and that's what matters.
You ready to do a little buy, sell, lease, my friend?
Let's do it.
All right. Who are you buying this week?
Well, I'm going to buy this Aggie run game again. I'm sold on them. I love it. This offensive line, though, let's push it to them. Last week, an impressive performance. They just manhandled Missouri. Now, like I said earlier, I don't think Missouri is anything special. I think a lot of people are going to do that to them. They had the worst run defense in the country, but you did what you needed to do, and you just gashed them. I mean, it was unbelievable. So I'll put the emphasis this week on the offensive line. I love the two running backs. They're incredible, but I'm buying this run game.
Yeah, I'm buying that 1-2 punch, that combination, the tandem of Devon Achane and Isaiah Spiller. I think when it comes to rushing yards, they have the second most combined yards in the SEC. I think two guys from Kentucky have a little bit more, but for total yardage, they've accumulated the most total yards of any running back combination, because then you factor in the receiving yards and the return yards. So those guys are both having a tremendous year, and I think they're just going to – I think A&M is going to be as good as they are productive.
I agree with that. I'm buying Anaya Smith, guys. 2 touchdowns last week at Missouri, 2 TDs in 2 out of his last 3 games. He's got 6 on the year, 12th nationally, and that's after a very slow start offensively for this team. I think Anaya Smith is starting to become that security blanket we hoped he would become, and he has been in the past, and he's doing it once again. All right, let's go to sell now. What are you selling, Steve?
Man, hard sell here. I guess it's going to be for me on the edges in the passing game, corner position. At times I really like, especially 17, it seems like I don't mind good penalties. A guy gets flagged, but you're out there competing and you get caught for grabbing, but you're trying to lock a guy down. You're really challenging them. I like that. But I just feel like opposite, especially at times. There's some easy plays to be had consistently, especially early in that last weekend against Missouri. I thought, oh my gosh, here we go again. Very soft defense. So to me, it's more pass defense and on the edges.
What are you selling?
I'm just going to sell the whole narrative that Jimbo's ever leaving. I think the statement that he made. And yes, some people are hanging on to I'm planning to be here for the rest of my contract. And planning is a lot different than will, but I just think that's the way he talks.
Yeah.
So I still see those that are saying, oh, well, he said he's planning to. And, that's the red flag, the way coaches are careful about the way they answer a question to leave themselves a way out. I'm not buying that. I'm selling that.
I'm selling the media. All of them, except us. We're good. Everybody else, I'm just annoyed at these reports, Jimbo this, Jimbo that. Even some of the stuff coming out about Ed O. Apparently a bunch of the LSU players went on Twitter saying there's some fake stories about him having girls at practice running, practice routes or something. Somebody from Baton Rouge reported that, and a lot of players came out and said that's not true. Media, get your stuff right? Do a show like TexAgs. How about that? Get real sources and real reporting out there. All right, what are we leasing, Steven?
I'm gonna lease this Aggie passing game. Of course, I think OB hinted at Anaya Smith, been a big factor, but I would like to see some more Chase Lane. And even Jaden Preston, I think he's had some really good moments as well. I'd like to see them really click this week. That'd be a huge boost for this Aggie offense. So I'm going to lease that Aggie wide receiver group.
Yeah, I'm going to lease the pass rush. I see that it has the potential to be dominant. I mean, they have 4 sacks against Alabama, 1 last week, and it was pretty much a coverage sack.
Yep.
There's too much talent there to not be consistent. Now, I don't think we're going to see the 3-man rush anymore, but I need to see more consistency from that pass rush.
All right, guys, I'm leasing scoring early. We haven't seen a bunch of that here, getting those early leads, 21 points against Missouri in the first quarter, the most since 2016 when they played Tennessee. A little stat I found in the game notes, Jimbo Fisher, in his era here, 23-4 when they score first, and a perfect 22-0 after leading after the first quarter. So I'm all about leasing that. Let's keep it going. I'm buying it, too. I'm leasing it and buying it. How about that? All right, Steven, we'll come back with That's Bullcrap. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Find out the latest contests, promotions, and events for 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Log on to thezone1150.com.
The small Texas town of Llano is where it all began. The Wooten family created Cooper's old-time pit barbecues, mouth-watering recipes, and cowboy-style cooked barbecue. Decades later, you can still get the same great recipes, cooked exactly the same way by the same family, right here in College Station. Dine in, curbside pickup, or catered. Experience the taste of locally Aggie-owned, nationally recognized Cooper's old-time pit barbecue. Voted best barbecue in the Brazos Valley and proud supporter of Texas A&M athletics.
For service you can trust and a job done right the first time, contact Tom Line Plumbing and Irrigation. Whether it's commercial or residential, new construction or service, they have you covered. Tom and Shelby Line have been serving the Brazos Valley for 11 years, and their team of plumbers have more than 40 years of experience. Customer service is their highest priority. Trust your every plumbing need to Tom Line Plumbing and Irrigation. Click TomLynePlumbing.com today.
Hi, this is Jeff Vanderwood with Veribank. Veribank is continuing to grow in the Brazos Valley with a brand new full-service banking center on Highway 6 in front of Academy. We have a team of genuine bankers specializing in personal and business banking, wealth management, and investor real estate lending ready to serve you. Veribank is here to help you succeed financially, and you can bank on it.
Visit Verabank.com today. That's VERA Bank.com. Verabank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since 1957, Slovacic Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovacic is the official sausage of Texas A&M athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovacic. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovacic Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Aggie football is here, and Texas A&M Transportation Services offers parking and shuttle options. Pay $25 cash to park near Bush Library, Bonfire Memorial, or Agronomy Road. Ride the free Downtown Bryan shuttle. For pre- and post-game traffic and parking info, or to purchase parking before the game, visit Destination Aggieland within the TAMU app, download the Park Mobile app, or visit transport.tamu.edu/football.
For those parking with an annual permit, be ready to show us your permit barcode printed on paper or on your smartphone screen. Follow us on Twitter at @GetToAggieGame.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with Alabama coach Nick Saban following the upset loss to the Aggies.
Coach, you've got guys on your roster that had not experienced a loss before. How have they responded in practice, and what's your message been to them this week?
Well, I think you're right about that. Sometimes you want to remember the feeling you get when you don't have success.
Sports Talk, undefeated since 1994, only on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, continuing things with our good buddy Steven McGee here on a Thursday afternoon. It is now time for That's Bullcrap. Love doing this segment presented by Tom Line Plumbing. For service you can trust, consider Tom Line Plumbing. Great friend of Steven McGee, longtime trusted plumber in and around the Brazos Valley. You can check them out at tomlineplumbing.com. Steven, what's bullcrap?
Did you guys watch the Tennessee game this last weekend? It's pretty wild. Anytime Lane Kiffin comes to town, you know that chaos can always ensue in Ole Miss, and it was a good game. Down there to the end, and at the very end, once it got it was almost decided, not quite decided though. The Tennessee fans decided to start throwing things onto the field, including, I'm pretty sure Dalton was saying it was a mustard bottle.
Yep.
Who has a mustard bottle in the, where do you even access that? Start throwing at the sideline, and then someone throws a golf ball at Lane Kiffin. And Dalton said that it was a range ball. He's confirmed that. It wasn't even a Pro V1. So hate to see it. I know that there's a lot of hate toward Lane Kiffin out there, and probably justifiably so, but man, slowing up the game. There's no place for all that stuff.
Yeah, I heard they were looking to find out who did it, and they found out it was Colonel Mustard in the stadium with a golf ball.
A Clue reference. What's bullcrap, OB?
I'm going to get myself in trouble for this. And let me say, first off, I've been vaccinated, but I think it's bullcrap that Washington State fired Coach Nick Rolovich because he wouldn't get vaccinated. This is still the United States of America. You should be able to make choices about your own health and your own decisions without losing your job. So that's bullcrap.
All right. I think
that is bullcrap.
I think it's bullcrap. Bob Huggins recently, I don't know if you guys heard what he said, but he thinks it's time for major conferences to split away from the other schools to create their own NCAA postseason tournament. His quote was, "Those Cinderella schools are putting 200 people at best in their gym. We're putting 14,000. While I understand that, I think part of the beauty and charm of March Madness, for those who aren't interested in college basketball year-round, is those Cinderella schools that make the tournament so much fun, knowing that a basketball team that is well-coached can win. Now, I will say this. I want it to be whatever works for A&M. So if A&M is going to be in favor of, just having the big schools in an NCAA tournament, fine. But as of right now, I love having the small schools in there.
I like them too, but I kind of agree with him in all sports, because I've always thought that, and we've talked about it before, that the smaller schools are, always vote against things like for years, like full tuition for the whole year. There was the smaller schools that was always voted against. Remember back when it was like you could have a bagel, but you couldn't get the cream cheese. If you got that was because the smaller schools would vote against the things because, it costs more for us.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not. I shouldn't say that's bullcrap, but right now to me it's bullcrap what Bob is saying today.
If you can play at the $100 tables, bring a wad of cash. Otherwise, let the big shots play at the $100 tables, and you go over to the $5 tables.
But the $14,000 people in the gym, or 14,000 people in the gym versus the 200. When it comes to March Madness, it's all about the ratings, right? And who's
I've
watching.
seen Yale beat Baylor.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. Hey, Steven, last thing for you before we go. What is something that is jumping out at you, good and bad, when it comes to Zach Calzada?
Yeah, I think Zach is a different player than he was, several weeks ago. I think he's got the confidence now. He's got the respect of the team. That's really important. And I think you can go out there and have fun and compete. And Zach can make all the throws. We've seen him do that. Be able to make a throw off his back foot with pressure in his face, down the sideline, drop it in the bread basket. Amazing. There's no doubt about that. He has the ability. I think the thing that he's got to get better at right now is timing. He's got to get the ball out quicker. He's taking too long, and he's waiting to see guys open as opposed to anticipating. It's much easier said than done. I understand that. Anticipation can only be learned through lots and lots of reps. So I would hope he'd get better at that throughout the year.
Appreciate you, my friend. We'll see you next week.
Yep. All right, guys. Take care.
Take care. Steven McGee here on the program on a Thursday morning. All right, OB. In the 9 o'clock hour, I know you're going to be working. Ryan Swope going to be joining us. Also, James Lowry. He's the coach at A&M's rugby team. We're going to do a little rugby talk here on the show. Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio at 9:35. And then the fan show. Still figuring out who's coming in for that. It's all that and much more here on TexAgs Radio. Make sure you're watching us on YouTube for the next half hour. We're getting close to that number, 7,000. We're almost there. If we get enough people subscribing, we'll do the whole show live. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the zone. The Texas A&M System Board of Regents has scheduled a special meeting for this afternoon.
The agenda includes discussion behind closed doors on how to resolve conflicting pandemic orders from the governor and the president. WTAW News has asked for a public statement on that topic following the executive session. The Regents meeting agenda does include possible action to give the Department of Emergency Management another $10 million to acquire warehouse space, authorize A&M President Catherine Banks to negotiate an agreement with the Association of Former Students for the cost of a new stormwater drainage project, and amend the system's lease regarding the property on A&M's West Campus where the Park West apartments are located. Bill Oliver, 1620 94.5 WTAW.
College Station ISD school board members agree to give more money to substitute teachers, paraprofessionals, and bus drivers. But Tuesday night's unanimous vote came after discussion about a hiring bonus for new bus drivers. Board member Joshua Ben had no problem with the amount.
Is there any concern about somebody taking the job, leaving after 2 months,
CSISD Transportation Director Hector Silva said their recommendation came after surveying Houston area school districts who had similar incentives. CSISD employees who become bus drivers will get a $750 bonus, and drivers new to CSISD will get $1,000. More information about 2 Brenham men accused by College Station police of stealing tires and rims and being arrested on charges of unlawful use of a criminal instrument. According to the CSPD arrest reports, officers seized a 2.5-ton floor jack that can lift a vehicle quickly, 2 4-way lug nut wrenches, and 2 stones to prop vehicles once tires are removed. Both men who were arrested are out of jail after posting bond. They were identified as 24-year-old Christopher Traylor III and 25-year-old Kevin Bledsoe Jr. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Get ready, it's time for the 10th annual Brazos Valley Fair, October 22nd through the 24th. There's fun for all ages with a carnival, rodeo, shopping, and awesome concerts, including a Friday performance by Mike Ryan, Saturday's headliner Shenandoah, and a Sunday show featuring Los Tigrillos. Exciting rodeo action and carnival, plus awesome concerts and so much more. Only at the Brazos Valley Fair, October 22nd through the 24th. Visit BrazosValleyFair.com for details or call 979-821-1450.
At United Roofing and Sheet Metal, we've got you covered inside and out.
Need help with your high wind or hail damage claims? Call Larry Winkler and the fine folks at United. United Roofing is your local, professional, family-owned business with over 40 years of service to the Brazos Valley. United is your insurance claims specialist, providing the most comprehensive full-system labor and material warranty in the roofing industry. Call United today at 268-ROOF.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on the Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Well, it's the battle for the bottom trophy this Saturday as number 17 Texas A&M football welcomes South Carolina to town. A few know about the hardware shared between the two teams, which is a small statue memorializing South Carolina native and Alamo hero James Bonham. Aggie head coach Jimbo Fisher was asked about it at his teleconference.
No, I haven't seen it, but I know all about it. I know it has to do with the Alamo and the people who came over from South Carolina to help them hold and do all the stuff to help made a big part in our country and actually founding Texas and making Texas a state. So we were very appreciative of that, and I understand the importance of it and the significance of it.
The trophy has resided at the Alamo for the last several years, and the Aggies have won all 7 meetings so far with the Gamecocks, so it's never had a reason to leave the Lone Star State. The 8th edition of the rivalry is Saturday at 6:30 at Kyle. A&M women's soccer is back in action tonight as it travels to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. The Maroon and White are looking for their first win in a week and a half. Kickoff is at 6 o'clock with coverage on Gospel 97.3 FM. And baseball has released its midweek matchups for the upcoming year. Highlighting things will be home games against Houston and Texas State, along with road matchups at Rice and Texas. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Roofing and Supply. On the Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
The best is yet to come in College Station.
2 seconds left. 28-yard attempt by Seth Small. Is down. It is up. And the fighting Texas Aggies take down the top-ranked Tide.
Join us Saturday. The Aggies host the South Carolina Gamecocks. Our coverage begins at 5:30 on your home for Aggies football, the Texas A&M Sport Network.
Listen to Aggie football on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Online at RadioAggieland.com or tell your smart speaker to play Zone 1150.
It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. And we're breaking down some stuff here on the program. Want to make sure that you guys know you can call in the show at our hotline number on the BCS hotline, 979-693-1150. All guests and callers join us on that BCS Eye Hotline. You no longer have to drive to Houston or Dallas or Austin for major eye surgery and glaucoma or cataract issues. Let Dr. K take care of you right here in the BCS, located in the top level of the Physician Center. Call 979-701-2020. And with that, let's go to the BCS Eye Hotline. We are joined by Ryan Swope, who's going to get it done. Good morning to you, Ryan.
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Hey, doing good. This weather, it's been very pleasant out, so enjoying it.
Yes, sir. So let's get into a couple things. First off, your thoughts on how this season is just kind of, I categorize it as like a roller coaster in a way, but it seems like we're back on the way up, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're trending in the right direction. I think that the good thing is there's a lot of football left to be played. And, there was a couple early hiccups there, Arkansas and Mississippi State, but you bounce back, get a good win, at home versus Alabama, and then go up to Missouri and get a good W up there. I think that right now it's just a matter of staying healthy and continuing to just work on your fundamentals and just stay focused and execute. And I think that we can make a good push here. If we can win out, I think that we give ourselves a shot at, at least a shot into the playoff, or maybe even just a good, decent bowl game there towards the end of the year. So I think that we definitely control our own destiny, and I think that these guys have been pretty resilient. All things considered, losing a quarterback and having some injuries and some distractions along the way, but. I just love the way we're running the football, to be honest with you. I think that Isaiah Spiller and Achain, those guys are just very talented, and they're getting after it. They're fun to watch, and I love seeing those two do what they're doing week in, week out. They're just reliable. And then, obviously, Anai Smith, he's another reliable guy, steps up and gets 2 grabs. I'm proud of this team and the way they continue to fight. So we'll see how they finish this year out. It's we've got a bye week here, which will be good to get our feet underneath us and rest. But I'm excited to see what happens. That's for sure.
Ryan Swope with us here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Ryan, all right, we love to do this with you, getting it done. Who got it done this past weekend?
Man, that backfield, I feel like I'm saying that every week, but it's true. Those guys, talk about just maybe one of the best 1-2 punches in America. Those guys, they're fun to watch. They really are. They're talented. They can catch the ball. They're just dynamic players. Spiller and Achain, I think that we really have teams second guessing themselves when game planning, and they make it difficult because they've got the ability to catch the ball to the backfield, and really their yak is most impressive to me. Their ability to just continue to keep their feet moving, and they're just powerful runners, and they've really helped us set up the pass game for sure.
All right, who's going to get it done this upcoming weekend as the Ags host South Carolina?
Man, I'm going to go with Calzada. I don't think he had his best stuff this past weekend. I think that he would probably tell you the same thing coming off, what he did against Alabama. I think that it definitely was average. And I'm sure that he would tell you the exact same thing, but I know, he's a competitor. I know he's been in the film room watching, and I know that they, I think that he's going to have a big game this week, along with a couple of those receivers. So I'll take our passing game and our quarterback.
All right, let's look all around college football. Who's somebody or a team that's not going to get it done?
And I'll go with LSU. I just think that they don't know how to tackle. And I think Ole Miss is a pretty good team. I think that they've got what's that quarterback's name over there? He's pretty impressive. Number 2,
Zeb Nolan.
Dude can spin the ball out.
Oh, sorry, you're talking. I'm sorry, you're talking about LSU. Sorry.
No. Ole Miss. What's his quarterback?
Ole Miss is Matt Corral.
Matt Corral. Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, had a brain fart there. Yeah, I'll take Ole Miss in that matchup. I don't know if there's a game this weekend versus two ranked opponents.
Let me look.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah, I was looking at it as well, but there's a couple games that I had penciled as some games that could go either way. So let's see. Wake Forest could lose to Army. Another game, Iowa State is hosting Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's number 8. Iowa State's not ranked at the moment, but that could be a good game. UCLA, Oregon, a couple teams that are pretty good there. The Ole Miss LSU game, as we mentioned here a moment ago. I don't think Tennessee Alabama is going to be a game. Yes, sir.
What do you think, Davey? Your top 4 right now that make it into the playoff. Who are you going with?
Yeah, I think I have to go. Well, obviously Georgia's number 1. I think Alabama is still in that mix.
Yeah.
I don't think Oklahoma is going to be there when it's all said and done, but as of today, they are there, as is Cincinnati. I'd like to see some movement. I could see Ohio State sneaking in there. Shoot, I'd like to see A&M sneak in there. I don't think that's going to happen, but if Alabama had another loss and A&M won out, why not?
You just never know, man. If these guys continue to fight and they go win and they look like they do against Alabama every week, we could really make a statement, at least be considered. I mean, we were kind of in that conversation. It reminds me of 2012. If these guys continue to just play good football, and we obviously have to have some other things happen that's kind of out of our hands, an Alabama loss or whatever might happen. But you never know, man. It's college football. Seen crazier things.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you about a guy that's been compared to you in the past and a guy that is just doing it all for A&M. 2 touchdowns last week. I think I read the stat earlier that he has scored 2 touchdowns in 2 out of his last 3 games. Number 12 in the country in touchdowns. Ainias Smith, just what he means. We focus a lot on what Spiller and A-Chain mean, but really Ainias Smith, a guy who does everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's who I put my call in last week to get it done. And sure enough, he delivers, and that's the kind of guy he is. I think I think that there's moments where maybe he's not as involved as he'd like, but he's a patient player and he's an unselfish player. And I just know how hard he works, how good of a guy he is, the character he brings to this team, the leadership. This is his football team, and you're seeing the true colors come out, what kind of player he is. I think that he'll be a guy that we'll be watching on Sundays for, a very long time, just because I think he's, very intelligent, very smart. He knows how to read safeties. He knows how to catch the football and knows how to run the football. He's just a dynamic player with top-end speed and just a good leader and a guy that you want in the locker room. So, I mean, I'm so happy for that kid, and he's been working his tail off, and he deserves it.
So let's talk about the rest of the wide receivers, Ryan. They're not splashy numbers last week. 8 receivers caught a pass, but just as a group, and I'm including the tight ends in this, just how are they evolving this year?
Yeah, I think that we're good. I think that it's hard. It's tough when you're so effective at running the football. But I will say, when you can run the football that well, it does open up those big shots over the top, as we saw, against Alabama. I think, like to see Demas produce more. And, he had one couple catches last week maybe, but I'd like to get him involved in the game plan a little bit more. Maybe take some deep shots, put him on punt return, kick return, see what he can do with the ball in his hands, get him the ball in space. But I think overall, I think that some of these younger guys, I'd like to see a couple guys have some breakout games. But overall, I think, Ainias Smith is kind of our 3rd and 5 kind of guy that we can rely on when we need a first down. So overall, I think it's been a good collective effort by all those guys. And I'll tell you what, those receivers, these running backs wouldn't be, getting these double-digit games if it wasn't for those receivers blocking downfield. I've seen the last couple of weeks those guys have really improved on their blocking downfield. I think a lot of people don't realize, how tough that is to do as a receiver going, dig a linebacker, dig a safety. And those running backs wouldn't have those kind of numbers if it weren't for those guys blocking downfield. So, I'm proud of those guys for getting in there and, and doing a good job of getting those blocks downfield.
Ryan, last thing for you. How do you see things playing out there at LSU, the way it has gone for them, the spectacle that was that press conference on Monday night, and where they're going?
Oh, man, it's funny. It's the timing to me is also bizarre. After big win at Alabama, but I think honestly, I think Jimbo loves it here. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's got a ranch right down the road. I think he's invested in this in our university, and I think that he's really excited about the future here, being an Aggie. So I'm not really reading into it too much, but obviously we all hope that he stays here, and I think he just fits Texas A&M, fits this culture, and just has a good resume of recruiting, and then just getting us where we need to be. So I think he knows that he's got all the resources right here in this great state, and I think that I really hadn't read into that too much, but who knows what will happen, but I don't think he's going anywhere.
There he is, Ryan Swope here, getting it done as he does every Thursday during football season. Ryan, we appreciate you, my friend.
Hey, thanks, guys. Gig 'em.
Gig 'em, man. Take care. We'll talk to Ryan Swope again next week here on TexAgs Radio. That was on the BCSI hotline. Coming up on the program, we're going to have Texas A&M rugby coach James Lowry here for a few minutes to talk about the way their season's going. So looking forward to that. Aaron Torres joining the program as well. I do want to say that we got a text from Marcia in College Station to share something that's going on with the Association of Former Students, class of 2010, a dream come true, Saturday flyover. It's going to be a good time. I hit the link, and it's Aggies will fly two F-35Cs over Kyle Field before that South Carolina game, and that's for the class of 2020 or 2010. Again, I've made that mistake. So looking forward to hearing that. A couple of Navy Strike Fighter Squadron VFA 125 Rough Raiders based there in California. So good stuff going on there, and we'll be looking forward to that as well. All right, right now I want to remind you to text radio to 1-833-638-6248. Again, that number is 1-833-638-6248 for your chance to win the big Friday giveaway. That is courtesy of our friends over there at Aggieland Outfitters. And this year they're bringing, or this week I should say, they're bringing that Aggie Champion white-on-white Power Blend crew neck. Very comfortable. It's got the fleece line crew neck, perfect for those cool days there in Aggieland. The sweatshirt features Aggies embroidered in white felt across the chest, while the champion logo is featured on the wrist sleeve. It's going for $49.99. But the beauty about this one is, guys, it's comfortable. It's got that fleece inside. It is just a really nice looking piece of clothing that you can wear on cool days. We're there at Kyle Field. Go see it when you visit Aggieland Outfitters or visit them online. It is Aggieland Outfitters.
Your home for the Houston Astros is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
The end of the tax year is near, so if you need maintenance or replacement parts for your construction equipment, WPI has you covered. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and depth to teeth, buckets, and blades. Any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marino Road, or click WPI.com.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Casasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Casasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field. And now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half.
It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at EnergyOgre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
From Bryan Broadcasting, Destination Bryan, and ABC Home and Commercial Services, you're invited to Halloween Town in downtown. A free, safe, come-and-go trick-or-treating experience for the whole family. Join us in downtown Bryan on Friday, October 29th from 4 p.m. until candy runs out. There will be a kid zone, photo booth, costume contest, and lots of candy stations for trick-or-treating. Special thanks to our treat sponsors, La Macaron French Pastries, St. Joseph Health, and Gentry Gandy's Dance Factory. Don't miss this free outdoor Halloween celebration for all ages. Brought to you by Bryan Broadcasting, Destination Bryan, and ABC Home and Commercial Services, specialists for your environment. For award-winning AC and heating service for your home, visit abchomeandcommercial.com. Make your plans now for Halloween Town in downtown, Friday, October 29th, starting at 4 p.m.
You can hear every Aggie football game, home, road, national championship, right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Game Day on the Zone is brought to you in part by Stephen Gustitis, attorney at law, BCS Allstate agent Jerry Anderson, and Higginbotham Insurance. 30 minutes after every A&M home game, tune in for the Twin Peaks Call-In Show, powered by TexAgs.com.
All right, my buddy Raheel Ronzanali is going to be very happy with me talking some rugby. He does some TV for the Houston SaberCats out there, and we're going to talk a little rugby here. Texas A&M rugby. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and we're joined by Texas A&M rugby coach James Lowry. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm great, my friend. So I want to talk about like the buzz around you guys. I understand that you're in middle of the season, right?
About a third of the way through.
Third of the way through. So talk about how things are going.
Things are going well. You know, after a wretched year, 16 months, 18 months, of not really colliding with people, you're going to have to reintroduce yourself into that. But for the most part, the excitement is there, and we're slowly getting our legs under our feet, as it were, and we're in good form.
So help us understand where you play, how you come watch, all the good stuff, because it is football season, and sometimes people get very narrow-minded when it comes to just football, but there are some other things going on.
So we train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at Penberthy, 8 till 10 p.m. We balance that between getting letting these guys study and then getting a really good education. We play on Saturdays at 1 p.m. at Penberthy. It's usually 1 p.m. if we're playing away. So this week we're going up to Oklahoma to beat the hell out of OU.
Yes,
and that kickoff will be at 1 p.m.
Okay. And how does it work for the club sports? Because obviously you don't get some of the advantages that the scholarship sports get, but these are athletes that are going places as well.
Of course. I'm very proud to say in my time here, a lot of our players have graduated. Majority of engineers, if you know a few. Yeah. Have gone on to be very successful in their careers. Bought their first house 2 years out of school. Making those really big purchases, as you want, and stability that an A&M community can give you. So finding a balance between a very competitive sport is massive. So we are a club sport, and not too dissimilar what you would have at high school. Mm-hmm. We fundraise everything. We balance it between studying and school and traveling. And that's really conducive as a coach. You're really proud to see these guys have that accountability for themselves to do all of that. We wish we had a bit more help, but we don't. As a coach, you want some good athletes, but you also don't want to compromise their ability to excel in different parts of their life as well, i.e. academics, which and the Aggie ring opens up so many doors internationally as well. So we're very proud of that fact as well.
Such an international school. So do people come to A&M and how do you find the rugby players? Do the rugby players come here because they know it's a great school and they have a great club sport?
Exactly. Exactly. We try and recruit. We go to every high school game we can in Texas. A lot of those Texas players that can't get into A&M end up leaving. However, if we make presence and we let them know that we want them here, they want to come to A&M. The degree, the traditions, and a club sport. We're a top 20 program in the country. That's a big enough sell. They want to wear maroon, and they know that they'll have stability and success after school. So yes, they do want to come to A&M, and the maroon jersey is pretty much a big pull.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. How have you guys been embraced, and also talk a little bit about your rich history, because I know A&M Rugby for years has done a great job.
Yes. So the club is 53 years old. 55 now, and it's been very tied to the tradition of the school and the football team and all the sports, the athletic program, in terms of excellence. So for the majority of those 50-odd years, we've been very successful. They won a national championship in 1974, where they couldn't play anyone in college that was competitive. They ended up playing men's teams, and they traveled the country in their own pocket, and went around the country and won a national championship. So there's been a strong tradition of winning, and we've been embraced because we're winning. So we are winning and continue to do so. So we are the standard in Texas. I'm very proud of saying that. And if you're a proud Texan, that's a really big deal. Coming from New Zealand, I like to think I'm an Aggie in some regard, and I think that's something that a badge you can wear really proud. So we're embraced by everything that is true to being Aggie, and we're very proud of that.
How do you guys figure out the schedule? Because you have to fundraise. Is it in conferences? Is it, depending on how much money you're able to allocate and come up with, does that help? How does that work?
So we have two major fundraisers, and one in the fall and one in the spring. We host the Gareth Jones Tournament, which is the largest youth rugby tournament in the state of Texas, anywhere close to us. So we get everyone from Texas, sometimes out of state, to come to that tournament, and we fundraise there. We have a 777 branch. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's in Hondo.
Okay.
One of the big gaming branches that you can hunt, and that's a big. And when we blast out those emails and those connections, we get big fundraisers there. From those two major fundraisers, we go to football games and contribute there. For the most part, and we pay dues, and that's enough really for us to go around the country, and we have ambitions to go overseas as well to really compete. And we're proud of that, but there's always more resources, more potential to do more things. Going back to your first question, athletes and whatnot, but so yeah. That's where we are at the moment.
And how do you schedule it? Is it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So the schedule, we primarily with the Big 12, with Texas, Baylor, Tech, OU. Then we became SEC-centric, so I hope LSU were in the conference. We want them back. They left, unfortunately. So we schedule the coaches get together, and we try to schedule outside football games and midterms, so we don't compromise that at all. So everyone has a good chance to study. You don't want to be playing a game when you're thinking about algorithms and whatnot. And then from there, we kind of schedule that. And USA Rugby has their schedule. They work back from May, from the playoffs, which is 7-a-side rugby and 15-a-side. We play both. So they assign those dates in May, and then we have from August till May to organize an entire schedule.
Right. So last thing for you, how did you get into rugby, and how did you get here to the States?
So born and raised in Auckland, New Zealand, and it is our football, and we're pretty good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just another guy who wanted to wear the black jersey, but rugby is also a passport. So from very young age, latter years of my secondary school years, I was able to travel playing rugby, and rugby took me over to the US. And when I came to Austin originally, and I was fortunate to meet an Aggie who told me about the whole program. They needed a bit of help at the time, and I said I'll take the job. And I've been able to dedicate, going on 6 years now, to making A&M a successful program once more.
All right, my friend. Well, you keep us abreast, and you're a third through the season. This weekend you're in Oklahoma. When do you guys play again here in College Station, and how can people come watch you?
November the 13th at Pemberthy Field, Intramural Fields. We get to play TU. So I would love to see you guys come out there and watch us beat the hell out of anything wearing orange.
And Coach Lauer, we appreciate your time, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, David.
Yeah, good stuff there, and hopefully everybody can get involved and be a part of it. We'd love for that. But right now, we'll talk about my friends at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. You know Zach Hester. You know the company out there. They do such great work, and if it comes to customer service, that being a priority for you, I think it should be, especially when you're spending the kind of money you're going to be spending on a vehicle. Go somewhere you can trust. Go somewhere that you know they're going to have a wide selection, and go somewhere that if they don't have the car you're looking for, they're going to find it for you. I think that speaks volumes for what they do, and Zach is so involved in this community. He is very, very involved. Caldwell Country wants to give back, and they're not far away, guys. Check out all their great prices, their deals, and also, as I mentioned, that amazing customer service when you step on the lot. It takes about 15 minutes to get there. Brian the Caldwell, just a short conversation away. But you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and you start doing business with Zach and the fellas. It is Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, and online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. Come out to the inaugural Fun for All golf tournament on Monday, October 25th at Traditions Club. Visit funforallplaygroundbcs.com for details. Come out to a fundraiser concert on Friday, October 29th at the 101 in downtown Bryan. Proceeds benefit Texas A&M's KANM Student Radio. The music starts at 8:30. Keep Brazos Beautiful is hosting their annual tree sale fundraiser on October 29th and 30th at the Brazos Center in Bryan. More information is online at keepbrazosbeautiful.org. Pride Community Center is hosting the annual Big Gay 5K and Barbecue on Saturday, October 30th at Lake Walk in Bryan. Visit pridecc.org for more details. You can hear Houston Astros baseball all postseason long on Sports Radio 1150 AM, 93.7 FM, and select games on Gospel 97.3 FM, thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Can I get a weight reading on the cat in exam 3?
Zuri needs a new vet tech after their current one literally moved to a farm. But finding an ideal replacement takes some training.
This is like herding cats.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Maroon U is your ultimate stop for brand name apparel, gifts, and accessories for the entire family. From Columbia, 47 brand, Yeti, Dooney and Burke, and Adidas. We're able to outfit you for every occasion. Visit Maroon U and our family of companies on Holloman Drive in College Station to shop the latest in brand name Aggie merchandise. Shop Maroon U today. Voted best in the Brazos best gift shop since 2016. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U.
Aggie football is here, and Texas A&M Transportation Services offers parking and shuttle options. Pay $25 cash to park near Bush Library, Bonfire Memorial, or Agronomy Road. Ride the free downtown Bryan shuttle. For pre- and post-game traffic and parking info, or to purchase parking before the game, visit Destination Aggieland within the TAMU app, download the Park Mobile app, or visit transport.tamu.edu/football.
For those parking with an annual permit, be ready to show us your permit barcode printed on paper or on your smartphone screen. Follow us on Twitter at GetToAggieGame.
Larry Shelby, previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
I think if there had not been a single criticism of Coach O off the field, I think if there had not been the Title IX lawsuits, if there not had been his peripheral involvement in some of the things that happened previously, he would not have been fired.
It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fund Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on The Zone.